Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a DIY Dollar Tree awareness ribbon. Now today we're going to make it in the colors of thyroid cancer. I've mentioned it in many videos before, but I have two sisters that have both survived thyroid cancer. They still are in remission, but have to get checks every once in a while. And with that, we're going to use teal or turquoise, hot pink, and purple. And we're just going to use one roll of each. I will show you that I made an awareness ribbon for breast cancer awareness entirely out of flowers for Aunt Sue. And I wanted to just show you here, you can pause this at any time to see what different conditions could have their own colors and such. You can also look them up online. But I found this on the left side of the screen. It's just going to go by slowly because all I'm doing on the right side of the screen is cutting mesh. And we're going to cut the mesh into like 6-inch squares. You kind of cut them on a diagonal. This is a rolled mesh tutorial. But if you look on the left, there's plenty of different causes that have their own color combinations. The Dollar Tree throughout the year sells every color of mesh at one point or another. I mean, I've seen brown, gold, orange, purple. I've even seen in the spring, I've seen the like paler pink, the lavender sort of colors, orange, of course, in the autumn, green at Christmas time. So throughout the year, you can probably collect whatever colors that you need. I wanted to show this now because I found these ribbons now. This September is Thyroid Cancer Awareness Month. Every month could represent a different I don't want to say disease isn't necessarily the right word because some of them are conditions, but it draws us an awareness to a different cause. That's the best way to say it. So now this is a really, really simple wreath. I just wanted to show you that you can get this entire wreath covered really well, actually, with just 3 rolls of mesh. It's not even 3 whole rolls because you don't use a whole roll of the teal, which goes across the top of the ribbon. But I really wanted to show this, A, because both of my sisters, as I mentioned, but B, some of the ribbons have tricolors. Some of them have duo colors. So I wanted to be able to show you how you can get the look of having the ribbon folded at the top and have that tricolored look with just Dollar Tree supplies. The other thing that you're going to need is pipe cleaners. We've done lots of wreath tutorials on our channel before. I like to cut my pipe cleaners into thirds or fourths, depending on if I'm making bundles with ribbon or bundles with just mesh. I think these bundles are just mesh, and I think I cut the pipe cleaners or chenille stems or craft stems or fuzzy stems or whatever you want to call them. Yeah. They have different names every time you go to a different store. There's different names. But for these 3 tight little curly bundles, we're just going to use a piece of the pipe cleaner cut in quarters. So it's just going to be the fourth of the pipe cleaner. Now, I don't always necessarily count like certain number of bundles. What I sometimes do is I cut the entire ribbon and then I see what I can get out of it. That's sometimes what I do. Generally, they're all roughly the same size, and if you do 6 inches, then you will get, let's see, it's 15 feet, so 6, 30. You'll get 30 pieces out of it. If you're going to make 3 pieces to a bundle, you're going to get 10 bundles. So of each roll. So we're going to get 10 of the hot pink, we're going to get 10 of the purple, and then we'll just use whatever teal ones we need. Okay? So it's just really simple. I don't know if you guys saw slow down there for a second, or it's going to be slowed down here in a minute. But we're just going to roll 3 basically pieces, and we're going to stick them between our fingers. I like to put them between my index finger and middle finger just to hold them tight. And then this is something I can do even when my hands are bad, my arthritis is really bad. I still can manage to get this done properly. Then I take the piece of pipe cleaner and I fold it in half. I find the middle of the bundle and I pinch it off. I give it 2 twists, and then I like to lay the pipe cleaner in the same direction as the mesh, basically. And that's just going to help it get on the wreath form a little bit easier. Now, if you wanted to just give representation of the colors, you don't have to make this look exactly like a ribbon. We could make each bundle one pink, one purple, and one teal. That would be just as lovely. That would also represent the colors. If whatever cause you're going to bring people's awareness to, you just basically can be creative with it if you want. What I really want to do, and I think I'm going to do it in the next awareness ribbon DIY, I just have a different idea that I don't know if it's going to work, but I want to try it. It's just something I've never seen anybody do before. So I wanted to share that with you. But first I want to get the basic technique down to show you guys about mixing the colors, all right? Or making it look like there's 3 colors and it's a real ribbon, all right? Now, I don't know how far back awareness ribbons went. I think that they all started because tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree, and we started using the yellow ribbons for our soldiers that were away. And then I remember when AIDS awareness came out and we used red ribbon for that. But I'm not exactly sure where it started. I'm sure there's probably some really good research that we could probably do to figure out exactly how long that this has been going on. But of course, as causes come and things become more popular, it's not that people have more diseases now. It's just that we can diagnose them easier and we can recognize them faster. Perfect example is I had a friend who she was born in the mid to late 70s, and she actually has a really severe case of celiac disease, but back in the 80s they didn't recognize it. And they told her that she had IBS. And if you know anything about celiac disease, you know you can't eat wheat, right? Well, they told her she had IBS and that she should increase the amount of bread and pasta that she eats. So she ended up having to have major surgery and has a slew of medical conditions from it. So now people get recognized with celiac a lot easier. We recognize what all the symptoms are. We notice it a lot sooner and a lot quicker, and people get diagnosed with it faster. So it's not that people have it less, it's just that now we can recognize it and we diagnose it. That was what I was trying to say. Okay? So now, of course, I'm not sure that you're aware, but maybe this might be information to some of you that are new, but I think just about every type of cancer, even for specific groups, like children's cancer has their own color, but for every type of cancer, they have their own color. And then, of course, when you research this, you realize that it's not just about diseases and cancer. And that's why I corrected myself in the beginning. There is also causes, any kind of cause. So human rights causes, equality causes, spousal abuse, domestic abuse causes. These all have significant colors. They're all just a symbol. This is just a symbol to make us all aware of what people are going through, and to be aware that these are groups that may need our support from time to time. So enough about that. Let me just tell you about what I'm doing. As you notice, these bundles are really, really fluffy, and this wired wreath form only has 2 outside wires and 1 inside wire. So what I'm doing is I'm just twisting them around the inside wire. I find it very easy to work with the wreath upside down, and to tie, basically how I told you, we stretch the wire across the thing so we can get it easy and access it and that whole thing. Okay, we want the bundle to go perpendicular to the space. So if I'm holding the ribbon so that the tail of the ribbon is going, horizontal with the ground or parallel to the ground, then I want the bundle of ribbon to go up and down, like the top of the rolls to be at the top and the bottom of the rolls to be at the bottom, if that makes any sense. Now I'm using the inspiration picture that I showed in the beginning. That was the actual inspiration one that I went off of. There are different types of representations. The colors is really what is makes it symbolic. But sometimes when you look up, some people or some groups, I guess, put like the purple and the pink or the blue will all be in different places, is what I'm saying. But I decided this is what I wanted to do. I want to make it look like the purple crosses over, the teal is at the top, and the purple comes down the other side. Okay, so now we're just going to do the same thing with the purple bundles. We're going to cut our little hearts out. We're going to bundle up a little hearts out. We're going to do whatever we can. But I think that the other thing that's important is not only just how we make bundles and that we make bundles and how we can set up the colors and how we can cut the pipe cleaners, but also how many pieces will actually cover and make this a nice full wreath. Now, I've mentioned it to you guys before. I don't like an overstuffed wreath. Overstuffed wreaths are pretty. They're just not my type of thing. Probably because I'm so dang cheap. And when I look at it, I say, I think it looks just as pretty with half of the mesh on. It would save some money. That could be it. I'm not 100% sure, but it could be. Now, the other thing while I'm cutting, and this is like just for me to talk to you about different variations that we can do while I'm cutting, is if you watch the video of the ribbon that I made for Aunt Sue, I will link that in the iCards. So if you look at the top right hand corner of your screen, there's a little eye inside a circle. That's an iCard. And I will link the video for the breast cancer awareness ribbon in there, because what I did for Aunt Sue that I did not do for my sisters is I created a banner. I actually created her two of them. One says Survivor and one says Breast Cancer Awareness. And all I did was I took a Dollar Tree burlap ribbon in pink with the wire edged, and I just wrote on it with a Sharpie. And I cut it off, and then I was able to pin it in two places, clip it in two places. I basically made it different ways for her to hang them. But if you want to make a permanent, you can obviously glue it down too as well. I think it would be really neat if you glued some pipe cleaners to the back of the ribbon so that you can change them out. That would be really cool too. Okay? And now we're just going to repeat everything we did before with the purple. The purple will go over, I think. Yes, it will. So when we laid the pink down, we left sort of a space because the purple is going to cross over. So if you refer to the inspiration piece, it basically looks like if I was creating this ribbon, that the pink ribbon was behind the purple ribbon. So when we were laying out our pink bundles, we left a space at the intersection. Now I think I mentioned that I'm only tying these to the center post, again, because I don't like an overstuffed ribbon. The thing is, I feel, and this is, okay, maybe I'm not just cheap, but if you overstuff this ribbon, it will lose its ribbon-esque type shape. I think that's really important thing to keep in mind. Now, if you are doing a breast cancer awareness ribbon, and you get some, this would look really pretty wrapped in the pink burlap ribbon with the wire edges that the Dollar Tree carries. You know, they carry the natural, the turquoise, the pink, and the dark green. Honestly, if it came in purple as well, I would be doing this in that. And I was kind of contemplating, because I do have a purple that I bought at the 99-cent only store. So you might see that next. This one went to my sister Julie, who is definitely a frou-frou kind of a girl. And I want to make one for my sister Jane, who is a little less frou-frou. She does like to get dolled up, so I'm not saying she's not. But, you know, as far as frou-frou is concerned, she's a little bit more, classic looking. So I might do hers in the ribbon if I can find the appropriate purple. The one that I have is purple, but it's kind of a lavender. This is definitely supposed to be purple. And the pink isn't quite hot pink, but we'll see. I'll talk to her. I'll see how she feels about it. She's probably watching. Janie, just let us know in the comments. What do you think? So now here's where I was talking about that I'm going to cross over. So I'm making sure that the purple goes between the two sections of pink. And what that's going to do is look like from the front that the purple is overlapping the pink. Okay? Now, because I've got the same amount of bundles out of the purple and the pink is not going to be as spread out as much as the pink because it has that one extra bundle that has to go at the crossroads. So if you feel like it needs extra, you can go ahead and get a second roll or additional pieces. But I've made it work, so hopefully you can make it work. I'm sure you can. Now, I'm going to fast forward. Well, it's been fast forwarded this whole time, but I kind of wanted to do like a live like craft with me with this, but I just know that I don't really have that much to say today. I will tell you, when I think about this, it just gets me very emotional. So I promised myself that I was going to get through this without getting emotional and without being tongue-tied. And I've been tongue-tied like 4 times. So I'm going to try to keep the emotional part at least in check. Because I'm very proud of both of my sisters who have gone through this, and my sister-in-law as well. They all are fighters and survivors, and they are managing to live their best lives, which I love. So I can't wait to see them. So now we're going to cut the teal color or turquoise color. Like I said, I don't really know exactly what Dollar Tree calls their colors, but this is definitely the appropriate color. The websites for THICA, which is the thyroid cancer, THICA, yeah, that one. I'm sorry. I told you tongue-tied, and now I'm blank. The mind went blank. They call it teal, so it's called purple, hot pink, and teal. So to me, this is a little bit more blue, but it still does work, in my opinion. So it looks very similar to the inspiration picture as far as what I'm concerned. So I'm not making all of the same bundles with this color because it's only going to fill up across the top. Now, how we tie it up there is really what's going to be like the focus. So I'm just going to do a couple of bundles and then we'll get on to how I'm tying it. Now, I feel like this ribbon form this year is a little bit shaped different than in the past. This one has more of a sort of trying to be square sort of top, in my opinion, as opposed to before they were just like almost completely round and back down again. Did you guys notice that? Like, do you see what I'm saying? How it's sort of like squared up the corners. It almost has corners at the top. Do you see that? Well, that's just going to make it really easy to tie that top piece on. At first, I was kind of like, I was thinking like, should I tie it at the top because it's supposed to look like it's at an angle. Basically, what it's supposed to look like is if the ribbon goes up pink and then at the top you're seeing the back side of the ribbon because it's kind of like curling around, and then back down the other side's purple. But it's really hard to represent that with mesh. But I was kind of like, should I tie it at the top to kind of create more of that angle, or to even tie it at the bottom to create more of that angle? But after trying it, you guys aren't seeing me try it, but after trying and experimenting which looks the best, I just ended up continuing right on that middle piece. And then just, I feel like it's just it just represents it. It's not a mirror match. It's not an exact match. Why do you guys like listening to me talk, especially when I can't make sense? It's not a perfect match. It's not a perfect representation, but it just definitely gives you that sense and that feeling that the ribbon is folded over at the top. So that's it. It was really easy. It's really fun. And then you fluff it up. That's what you do. Now, like I said, I didn't say this, but I have this hung on an angle because that's the way I feel like ribbon wreaths should. But really, you can hang it any way you want. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys want to see different variations, or if you have any questions about colors or color mesh magic, whatever we're doing. I don't even know. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share with friends and family, anybody who might be interested in meshing up a ribbon wreath form. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe, and when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And as always, you guys take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye. And don't forget to support your favorite cause. Bye.